Intro music begins with a dramatic and slightly mysterious tone, then fades to the background. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying back in time to the bustling, neon-lit streets of 20th century Hong Kong. It was an era of rapid change, immense wealth, and shadowy underworlds. In the heart of this complex society stood powerful organizations, and among the most famous was Xin Yi'an. Within this group, a handful of figures rose to legendary status. They were known as the Four Tigers, and today, we're focusing on the story of one of them, the man they called Kei Po. Now, when we talk about figures like Kei Po, it's easy to get lost in myth and legend. Our goal today is to look at the historical context and piece together the story of the man behind the moniker. Who was he, and how did he become such a prominent figure in the annals of Hong Kong's triads? Our story begins in the post-war period. Hong Kong was a melting pot of refugees, entrepreneurs, and people just trying to survive. This environment was fertile ground for triad societies to grow, offering a sense of brotherhood and protection where official structures were sometimes lacking. Xin Yi'an, originally founded by Yung Chen, was one of the most significant. It was within this sprawling organization that a young man, whose real name is often lost to history but known to us as Kei Po, began to make his mark. Unlike the brute force stereotype often portrayed in movies, Kei Po was known for his sharp mind and strategic thinking. He wasn't just a fighter, he was a planner. He understood the importance of business and influence. In the 1960s and 70s, as Hong Kong's economy boomed, so did the opportunities for Xin Yi'an. Kei Po was reportedly instrumental in expanding the group's influence beyond traditional rackets. He saw potential in legitimate and semi-legitimate enterprises, understanding that real power lay not just in street-level control, but in economic control. Kei Po allegedly had a hand in various sectors, from entertainment to real estate. He was a master of negotiation and building networks. This ability to bridge the gap between the underworld and the mainstream business world was what set him apart. He cultivated relationships with businessmen, entertainers, and officials, creating a web of influence that was both powerful and discreet. This strategic approach earned him respect and solidified his position as one of the Four Tigers. The Four Tigers was a title given by law enforcement and the media to the four most powerful leaders within Xin Yi'an. At the time, each tiger allegedly controlled a different territory or aspect of the organization's operations. Kei Po's domain was said to be in the bustling districts of Tsim Sha Tsui and Yau Ma Tei, the commercial and entertainment heart of Kei. His influence there was legendary. It was said that very little happened in those districts without his knowledge or tacit approval. However, this rise to prominence didn't go unnoticed. The Royal Hong Kong Police Force, particularly its Organized Crime and Triad Bureau, was constantly working to dismantle these powerful syndicates. The 1970s saw major anti-corruption campaigns and crackdowns on Triad activities. This put immense pressure on figures like Kei Po. He had to be constantly vigilant, operating in the shadows and adapting his methods to evade law enforcement. It's important to understand the duality of these figures. While involved in activities that were outside the law, they were also products of their time. For many in their communities, they were seen as protectors or providing loans, settling disputes, and offering a form of street-level justice where the official system sometimes failed. This complex role is a key part of their legend. They were not simple villains, but intricate characters woven into the very fabric of Hong Kong society. As Hong Kong moved towards the 1997 handover, the landscape began to change dramatically. The old ways of the triads were becoming obsolete. Increased law enforcement, a changing economy, and the political shift created a new environment. Many old-school triad leaders either faded into obscurity, were arrested, or attempted to legitimize their businesses completely. The later years of Kei Po's life are shrouded in even more mystery than his rise. Like many figures of his stature, he gradually withdrew from the public eye. Reports suggest he, like others, focused more on legitimate business ventures, moving his family and assets abroad and leaving the old street life behind. The era of the powerful, high-profile Triad Dailo Big Brother was coming to an end. What, then, is the legacy of Kei Po? He represents a pivotal era in Hong Kong's hysteria, time when the lines between the underworld and the upper world were often blurred. His story is not just one of crime, but of strategy, business acumen, and adaptation in a rapidly changing city. He was a survivor, a strategist who understood that true power wasn't just about force, but about influence and control in all its forms. The Legends of the Four Tigers serve as a fascinating, if cautionary tale about power, ambition, and the complex social dynamics of old Hong Kong. They are a reminder of a bygone era, a chapter of the city's history that continues to captivate and inspire stories on the silver screen and in popular culture. Kei Po's story, in particular, shows us that the reality of the underworld was often more complex and businesslike than the gangster movies would have us believe. It was a world of high stakes, intricate networks, and constant evil. And that brings us to the end of our journey into the legend of Kei Po. It's a story pieced together from historical accounts, police records, and media reports, a glimpse into a world that has largely vanished, but left an indelible mark on the identity of Hong Kong. Thank you so much for joining me today. What do you find most fascinating about this era of Hong Kong's history? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more stories like this, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into history. Until next time, stay curious. In the past, many Teochew people from eastern Guangdong migrated to Hong Kong in search of a better life. However, they were often oppressed and bullied by local gangs in Hong Kong. To protect themselves and support their fellow newcomers, they banded together and formed their own organization. Over time, this group grew into a new force in the underworld, engaging in activities similar to Hong Kong's native gangs of that era. As their power expanded, the British colonial authorities in Hong Kong began to crack down on them. Some of the leaders of the Xin Yi'an organization decided to dissolve the group and shift toward legal activities. Around this time, Hung Chin, a former major in the National Revolutionary Army, was sent to Hong Kong on an intelligence mission by Dalia's Bureau of Investigation and Statistics. He had been operating undercover within the original Yi'an Society and held one of its 4 key leadership positions. When he realized the group was about to disband, Hung Chin worried about what would happen to the remaining brothers. He decided to reorganize the group, founding Xin Yi'an and leading a core faction to continue its activities. Unexpectedly, the organization flourished, growing rapidly like willows, taking root into a forest because of its ties to the Triads. Xin Yi'an was later classified as an illegal organization. In 1953, the British colonial government accused Hung Chin of involvement with the Triads and other banned political groups. He was deported from Hong Kong to Taiwan. After his departure, his sons gradually took over the organization's operations. More than 70 years later, Xin Yi'an still follows a hereditary leadership model, with the Huang family holding supreme authority. Xin Yi'an's influence spreads throughout Hong Kong, from Hong Kong Island and Kowloon to the new territories and nearby islands. Beyond Hong Kong, they also operate in Western Europe, the United States, Canada, Australia, and Southeast Asia, making them a truly international syndicate. In Hong Kong, Xin Yi'an invests in legitimate industries such as restaurants, hotels, entertainment venues, and transportation companies, earning significant revenue. However, their core activities remain illegal. Extortion, protection rackets, drug trafficking, loan sharking, prostitution, illegal gambling, and smuggling. They also run legitimate businesses, film production companies, investment firms, and restaurants to launder money and improve their public image. The organization's structure is strict and hierarchical. It includes the 5 tigers and the 10 elites. Each district has a seat holder, who acts as the local leader, and a bookholder, who manages finances. Today's story focuses on the head of the 5 tigers of Xin Yi'an, a true tiger of the Hong Kong underworld. He was both a warrior and a strategist, bringing corporate-style management into gang operations. He once negotiated face-to-face with the infamous drug lord Canessa, helping Xin Yi'an secure massive profits and expand its power. He even slapped Hong Kong pop diva Anita Mui during a nightclub incident, only for her to later become one of his closest By a twist of fate, he rose to become a district leader, So Quan, helping the organization stabilize internal unrest. At the peak of his power, he died in a foreign land. His name was Wang Xun, the Tiger of East Tsim Sha Tsui. Wang Xun was born in 1956 in Yuanlong, Hong Kong. As Wang Xun, Yuanlong was known for its fishing and rice farming. His parents were fishermen, and the family lived modestly. Wang left school after 4th grade to support his family. By the late 1960s, he worked as a dock laborer. He was sharp, charismatic, and physically strong. Within a year, he became the leader of the dock workers. Historically, docks were breeding grounds for gangs. Workers formed groups to support each other, eventually evolving into syndicates. In Wang's time, many gangs operated openly in the ports. Joining one offered protection and power. Wang eventually joined the Hong Kong Triad and apprenticed under a local elder known as Big Green. Despite his youth, Wang was a fierce fighter, often leading charges into gang clashes with his signature bagua axe, earning the nickname Axe Sune. By his early 20s, he commanded over 100 followers and dominated the Tuan Moon area. His rise coincided with that of another Xing figure, Brother Xing. Both commanded hundreds of men, and rivalry between them culminated in the 1982 leadership election, held every 2 years. Xing's faction was stronger, and Wang lost. Furious, he considered switching allegiance. Both the 14K and Xin Yi'an sought to recruit him. Kei Po, then one of Xin Yi'an's tigers, wanted to transition into business and was looking for a successor. He offered Wang the highest transfer fee in underworld history. After joining Xin Yi'an, Wang swiftly seized Tuan Moon and Typo from Xing, helping Xin Yi'an become one of Hong Kong's big 3 syndicates. Alongside 14K and Xing, Wang expanded smuggling operations while training in Muay Thai under Xin Yi'an's chief instructor, Tu Longa. He became nearly unbeatable in combat and quickly rose through the ranks. His leadership and strategic skills contributed greatly to Xin Yi'an's dominance in the late 1980s and 1990s. One of his greatest achievements was negotiating in the Golden Triangle with Canessa, turning a dangerous situation into an alliance and securing an exclusive drug supply contract. Worth huge profits, in 1987, a major undercover sting led to the arrest of more than 10 Xin Yi'an leaders, including the Dragon Head, Hunghua Yim. This created a power vacuum. Lung, seeing an opportunity, tried to overthrow the Huang family. Many of his disciples held powerful positions, including Wang Xun, Tolan Shun, and Chun Chiming. The Huang family countered by appointing Wang as acting leader, driving a wedge between him and his mentor. Caught between loyalty and duty, Wang skillfully navigated the conflict. Ultimately, Lung was defeated but spared thanks to Wang's intervention. In 1990, Wang was involved in a notorious bar altercation with pop star Anita Mui and the band Grasshopper, which cemented his fearsome reputation. Later, Wang and Anita became close friends, and his sworn brother Chan Yi'an even avenged her by killing a 14K leader who had slapped her though. This triggered a tragic cycle of revenge. By the early 1990s, Wang's rivalries culminated in the Battle of the Century, a massive gang face-off involving over 1,000 men. Political figures had to step in to defuse the situation. In 1992, Wang was wanted for multiple charges and fled to Thailand, entrusting his young daughter Wang Yi'an to Huang for protection. On a night in mid-October 1995, while driving a Mercedes-Benz Aventus Litro in Pattaya, he was killed in a high-speed crash at the age of 39. His death sparked rumors of foul play, though nothing was ever proven. In 2014, actor Philip Ng, who portrayed Bruce Lee, married Wang Yi'an in Bali. They live happily together, a bittersweet ending to the legendary life of Wang's